Angelo, Badalamenti. Angelo Badalamenti.
We say, oh, that's it. Oh, it's so beautiful. Angelo. Oh, is tearing my heart out. I love that. Just keep it going. Now, she's starting to leave. So far down. Keep falling. Keep falling. Keep falling. Now go back into the dark woods.
Mr. Lynch, knives will be alive forever. Good morning, Mr. Simply. Mr. Simply. More simply, 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 more simply day. Questa videogiornata di Lynch. It's March 2 or 2nd, 2026, and it's Monday news. We are totally cloudy, yes. Totally wet, cloudy skies, in general, and fluent excuse now. It's the afternoon, 13 and 14 minutes. 59 Fahrenheit, 15 Celsius, in this it's really cold, like in Siberius, and if it's practically stick with the sea, as a light spring atmosphere, bisogna guardare con corso di spring, sono praticamente 20 days, so from this photo will soon be listening, but in general, smooth as also cold, fact cold, sketch adjective, Tell solo senza questa cosa corso fuori al secolo si considera che c'è una sfida di stagione stamattina so che teoria perché lo stesso che cosa se la spasata sa persone follow me non la spasata ma fin a body so che teoria perché lo stesso che aiuto no so quello che cambiamo so che sa sembra 21 partiva si che stiente in che fuori in TPM in Italy allora sa perhaps non mi fico poi sono un po' in cinese poi senti mature, try to say that everything is inclusive, so at the same time and propose effectively to which many is better and perhaps paradox for me, and it's a paradox for me, and the student evaluation so as being examined, it's a course being associated soft, for some adjective for you to once again, so that's in general for decisions repeated a classic adjective, the other degrees at least for me also because if you do that absolutely incomplete. But there's no consider the periods winter school show we complain should complain, but when I see the sentence absolutely incomplete. I'm referring to this very to me, particularly perhaps really for this period, thanks for the fact that I don't feel less than other people, thanks to the series of practices following those in some years. But to practice particular to which also start to feel good, when it comes the winter period, winter reports period, I always try to come to the comment checklist spring to practices. And in this case, I wrote it in the first part of this comment with an asterisk, so if someone is interested in what is practice. In this case, I repeat, this year, if you read the first part of the first comment, or the first comment with this asterisk, or I don't know if it's più for uniti finché not, se infatti difficult, ma uniti finché yes or no, this penso that I think 90-95% difficult, or in general, in some way for me also good. Instead, but I got to situation to it, I think I can say something just for me. It's better. This seems can be some of things. Quindi riaffermano finché a 3% di ripetizioni fuori. Si finire fare una fatica, cioè, at importante in questa atmosfera, anticipi. Si foto e vedi se. Se curtine sono di curtine in genere, se mi iniziate mi ci sono perfect, se suppose in fact not the repeat is sky is totally what the class is just for considering the trend of the last weeks still so according but I say weeks the last days we had many days with the review discussing conversation considering the trend consider according to tutti i my sensations starting think it's possible no it's most sure that practically sure that later in it after once it's really left precisely between late after it became I think darker, bleaker, si può essere rosso, detto, mettere in performance, in fact non è think very close, e let's say così, what happens. Ma da solo se no bisogna oggi in Switzerland, si vuole così, in effetti yes, come scrivi lei, perché ha bad, maximum tasta little good. So sì, quindi metto cortine in fase on the flowers, mix of plants, e si sono cortine in sesta numero 1, mangarting sono subvertite breve, spartivo dalla partita. And the rest follow for his note, it was a beautiful, great opportunity before put the benches, ma to replay the pass factor in the first routine, and all things later. Prima si ritrovo in una comment secondo section, ci should be one to in first comment, perhaps first comment, ora non la inserite come session, non if you consider test it, well, si shot near by me, create think yes. See the inflowers, on the flowers, mixed from guns. Or if not, even better, surely better snapshot automatically se the first part of the video to which we show you the other scattazione generale scarsa come dico quindi scarsa come dico so apps non no risorse non mi dico quindi non mi ricordo Over a broad perspective, also from this pratica di shot, siamo sul classico shot a film un intersivo fino a tutti il numero 90 se tu sui mani intersivo per fare scurtini beautiful cortini beautiful painter in badges apple so for the first two strana ports alla cortina infantry exact reason sure caro cortini still in cover image diciamo one day sono da match legit per o se sì this shot solidity fact but one reason che lo shoot lo so reason ma when reason because effect is measure ma si reda little speech o sente lo senso se farebbe cortini rutin, det finns alltså i kese professor rutin. Så det bara sakara rutin. Alltså i kese entri ma tosse i kese entri ma sat dise. Alltså i kese nal si redito so flisi in curtin so repete repeat expression si kese four times. So in this little speech or sentences but also always better visible for me. It's entirety in this shot at si mitico le genere shot. Regarding the shooter activism, fantastic activism studies. Last October is important to be important as also this activism. Let's read it speech center to support the working of free because so while also free so repeat once again but also and always better visible for me its activity in this shot at si point si con le gene shot. Infine, from my medical keyboard NGX 640 PG 695 also the case of being a gene shot. Since a week, also for an shot, party in fact, I film it on January 24th, it was a Saturday, and last January 24th, it was a Saturday, and to issue shot, we can see the actual condition of the keyboard since, but actual condition since December 2nd, 2024, in fact, since that, and today, there was no light, practically main problem is that there is no light in the display, there's also a little problem, so matter a little problem, but this the main problem is this, fact, there's no light on the display, one day, as only time I try to fix it. Getting more people follow for the channel reports getting it over. So my body my system. Also to myself, also biscuits and finally, yeah, you will get breakfast. So it's late in general, also massive late in for my sniff, some means last December 31, in fact, the top system. It's late in general for the people and all for my record, but not at all for my house, because for my house, so kind of a type of variety, make breakfast. This hours, but see, is between December and January, less since February, less since February and all from this month, March to the other next month, until once into December, at the same time it's late. But the more important is that from record action seminar to stare in fact breakfast fintan so mi testa fintan mette dinki milk fintan parte mette su sesta su fintan record di seminar 3 e so sa ciò e tu ripeti tu con la serie record il tuo sono si ma no more than yes si just for and just roll the obviously just code 13 and 14 minutes. But the important shows in memory settings are also the fortunate so a million and as we always say breakfast sono most built for absolutely and as you know senza azione think more than one yes also solo conto think but this should be time the video like also solo conto the thing like the fact of an at the point in riso as it I'm starting just I think I'm using it since the week of 11 Friday ago yes if not 11 12 Friday ago and yes bit also secondo but magari lì should be di prima ma te proviso che one di quanto pensiamo che ci better visit di questa sul di things or maybe speech and from inside shot obviously non c'è gioco da tutto quattro mormoni ma sembra solo fra sai visto sai effect fact per me più come su più scusa si sta finché non mette fatto carta per ciocco chip cookies o cookies chocolate chips. And if I'm to mistake, so for to be something in particular, I think was read this is one, but to make factory shot on some music of films. But also script shot, in fact, that's shot from business. Shot and I think it wants to see the loss of solution and the business and attention with better. No was more is quick to finish it now. This once in British 20 I think 255, 56, 57 days. I think is a loss of solution and the business. So attention better. So things that 1 to 3 iPad, insert it once again the milk, so good news. Un'inizio questa breakfast, questa bomba basta in particolare, me non sono stati per il gioco, sto a tornato morto mania su, questo mi film questa stanza, vedete, infatti come sono tulle, questa breakfast, questa è mega bomba. Secondo cosa qualsiasi è inifrabile si sarà con andare in sigas, su messare sempre in posizione, proprio su second first position, the bomb c'è second position. Mi cosa? Altri fesse preso posizione famiglia dall'Italia in Pablo Dash però ciò principio si alza. Fa così, a due come ne dico, mi cosa di super bar. Anzi, tu muore, sposi con traffic, tutto marotto con l'epe. Ma è uguale, sì.